This is our 1967 GMC C15. We picked this truck up in Iowa. This thing came from a farm in Iowa where it sat in a field for about 30 years after the last time that it ran. So getting it here was the first time it moved. It didn't drive here. We had to drag it onto a trailer. But really cool truck because it's mostly original. It still has the original badging from the dealership that it came from, apparently a place called Bill's Motor Company in Sterling, Iowa. And these are still intact on both sides. But then up here under the hood, so the VIN code on this truck said that it originally came with a straight 6, I believe, when I did the VIN decoding. Where it was sitting in the field, it had what looked like a factory 350 in it that was completely locked up. So I actually had a shop in Iowa pull that motor out for us, and the guy that sold us the truck hooked us up with this motor as well. This is a Chevy Crate 302. That's just a replacement motor that probably would have gone in a service van or something. So it does actually run. It's a bit of a process to run it, but this, to make this run, this is going to go into your gas can. So it's not, we don't have a gas, well, it does have a gas tank, but it's old and nasty. Connect your battery, and then here's your ignition key up here. And it will fire up. So it does run. It doesn't drive because it's a 2-piece drive shaft, and the carrier bearing for the center of the drive shaft is completely gone. So when you put it in gear, that thing just flaps around like crazy. So it's not safe at all to drive. And it also has no brakes. So so that's why it's sitting here, but it does run. That's step one. The bigger project for this, though, this motor is not going to stay in here. So the whole reason that we even put this in is because the motor was free. It came with the truck, and the idea was get this motor in here and get it running, and then we were going to road trip this thing home from Iowa. And once we started tearing into it and we realized just how much more there was to do it due to the truck, just to make it drivable, to bring it home, it just became too big of a project. And quite frankly, that wasn't stuff that we wanted to pay somebody else to do. This was all stuff we wanted to do to ourselves, for the truck. So we got really lucky. We had some friends that were going to a drag and drive event a few months back last year. And so we loaned him our tow truck, and he drug a trailer out there and brought this car back for us. So, and here it's been ever since. Moving around though, so not a lot to see inside. It has a factory 3-speed. I'm sorry, it has a factory 4-speed, so which is 3 plus the granny gear in first, and then pretty much original interior from what I can tell. We do have some rust repair to do, but it's not real bad. So the front corners, I'll let you slide in there. On both sides, you've got the front corner of the floor that's rusted out, so we will end up welding in some patch panels there. I think the doors are okay. It's just the rocker panels on both sides are going to end up getting replaced. So this is going to be a really cool project where we're going to learn how to weld. I don't even know how to weld. So I'm going to learn how to weld. The kids are going to learn how to weld, and we're going to go through and replace these rockers ourselves. And then back here, so this underneath the tarp is the reason why the motor up front is one I don't really care about. This is a junkyard LS. It is a 6-liter LS that came out of I think it was like a 99 Chevy 2500 pickup truck. I think it was a GMT 800. But the motor had like 90-something thousand miles on it, ran great, and got a really good deal on it. Picked it up in Iowa as well, so it tossed in the back of the truck and came home with it. And it's just been sitting here covered up to stay out of the elements for now. But eventually this motor is going to get swapped into the truck. We haven't started that process yet because since it's already out, the plan is to put the motor on a stand, tear into it to see is there anything that needs to be repaired, but we want to build this motor for boost. We're shooting for somewhere between 600 and 700 horsepower, reliable horsepower, and so that way we can have something that's got a lot of power that we can do burnouts and go drag racing with, but is also we can use it to go around and help people and do mobile repairs. And so then that brings us into the large project for the truck. So once the LS is swapped up front, what we'll do back here is we want to build a mobile repair unit, and so we're going to build a modular unit where everything will come. We'll have all of the tools and compressor and jacks and whatever we need for doing mobile repairs. So if you're broke down on the side of the road, we can come to you and we can take care of you there on the spot. And all of this stuff will be modular toolkits that slide out and basically create a workstation. So then we can take that a step further, take this truck to a drag and drive event, and we brought all of our tools and everything that we need is already here in the back of the truck. We show up to the event, slide everything out of the back of the truck and set up our pit. Now the back of this is empty and nice and light. swap some drag tires onto this, take this guy and go throw it down the track a bunch of times. And then when we're come back, swap the tires back out, put the tools back in, and go home.